is Miss Universe Philippines using him as a scapegoat, or are they trying to censor him? In other words, by censoring him, by saying what he said, are they just trying to put blame on somebody because Chelsea Manalo didn't go as far as everyone believed that she would? Hey, what's up, pageant patrons? I tell you what, you guys did not disappoint at all. I asked for a little bit of feedback on the whole Adam G incident from my first video. So I want to highlight a couple of those comments. Most of the comment, well, I won't even say most, I won't try to quantify it, but it's probably split. That's kind of what I thought. Some saying that Adam should not have apologized, and some saying that, he should be banned for life. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of the videos. And this was one of the comments that I got. What he said was very sensitive. Adam shouldn't compare Chelsea from the other girls, especially about their physical. And he even said some names from Miss Universe Philippines. What makes more angry is that he said that after interview with Chelsea, and now he looks like a two-faced person, or we call it a plastico. They look fake. And so I took this to mean that he said all of that after he had gotten the interview from Chelsea. So in other words, he was able to use his credentials to get the interview with Chelsea Manalo, and then he still seemingly talked, bad about her. So that was one comment. So here was another one that was rather interesting. And so these were kind of the common theme of the videos, besides those that said, Adam will rise from this, Adam G will rise from this. I got several comments like the one that I just read, and this one as well. The fact that he endorsed the white colonialism type of beauty is such an ignorant stance. It also told the world that colorism is well and alive in a country who are thought of as happy and accepting people. Can't even accept some of their own kind based on the color of their skin. On the contrary, something good also came out of this. Many Filipinos banded together and MUPH to show love and shout to the world they could care less about ungracious standard of beauty imposed not only in the Philippines, but the rest of the world. God bless, love one another like God loves us all. In God's eyes, there is no skin color. He loves us equally. And I think that is such a great, comment. And so, but to say that it is, that the whole colorism is not alive, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it is alive. I think those beauty standards are changing though. And it's changing every day. So, and it's sort of, who holds the idea of beauty? Who gets to say what is beautiful and what is not? Do men? Do women? Is it a combination? I will let you guys decide who you think controls that. So, and then another interesting comment. Where was MUPH when Celeste was being bashed when she broke the winning streak of the Philippines? Where were they when Rabia also was bashed? To be honest, the punishment does not fit the crime. When I read that comment, a couple of things came to mind that I thought about. And so I did a little bit of research, and I got a little help from a friend. So you guys let me know what you think. Because if I'm not mistaken, in 2020, that is when MUPH broke off from Binibining Pilipinas. They had been doing, it was a franchise, so they became separate franchises. So, in 2020. And also in 2020, Rabia Mateo had a breakdown on Instagram Live because, and I remember that, and she felt so bad, and she was crying on social media, and it was very, very sad to watch because they were bullying her. People were bullying her like crazy. And so that comment reminded me, where was the organization when that happened? Did they stand up for her? I don't remember everything that happened. I think maybe they did say something, but I just don't remember offhand. But that's almost beside the point. So they weren't even in the top 10 that year. Rabia, she was not smiling, and even the organization, Miss Universe Philippines, called her out for not smiling. In 2022, Celeste Cortese. That was the first time the Philippines didn't place in the semifinal, and that was a 12-year streak that was broken. And so I really am looking at the track record once the two entities separated. What is the track record now that they've separated? Now, and let's not even, well, yeah, I was going to say let's not, but let us talk about Michelle D. She made it to the top 10 last year, highly decorated, but didn't make it into the top 5. But I also think Michelle D had more of a hands-on approach with her styling, with her walk, with everything. And so I don't know if it's fair to compare Michelle D, since it was just last year, with Chelsea Manalo this year. And it seems like maybe Chelsea was a little bit more hands off, but maybe the team could have done a little bit more. That's some of what I'm saying as well. So let me know what you guys think. Is it fair to say that the track record so far has not been very good? Or am I looking too deep into it? Or maybe not deep enough? So, because anytime, it seems like there was a very, very good track record when the two entities were together. And since they've separated, it's almost like a lackluster performance. And I don't know if that's a fair assessment to make. So let's go on to this particular point. So the last comment was, it just strictly says MUPH bullies their critics. And a lot of people are saying that, you know, it just doesn't fit what they have done to Adam G. And so being a media partner, and I had to ask a few questions, because being a media partner, does the organization pay for anything? And from my understanding, Adam G paid for everything. He does not get paid. Now, maybe it allows him access to the contestants, but as far as anything else, but also MUPH is using his platform. He has a huge platform. So by allowing him to be a media partner, that's advantageous for MUPH as well, because that it just reaches more people. And so it's this symbiotic relationship. But when you ban him, the only thing that you ban him from is access to the contestants. But any of the contestants can, if he waits outside a hallway or a room or something like that, they still have the option to go and speak with him. I don't understand why they have banished him. And again, maybe I'm thinking too much about this, because I do blog as well, and I do enjoy this. And I like all of us, we want to grow our platforms, and we just we like what we do for whatever reason. Either we want to get paid or we just like doing it. So you ban him access, but the contestants, they can still go and talk to him, unless there's a specific prohibition that says you do not talk to Adam G. But then that defeats the purpose, because you want as much exposure for the organization. The contestants want as much exposure as they can get, because naturally they want to win. So they're going to talk to all of the media critics and all of the bloggers and everybody that they can. And so it's that symbiotic relationship. And so I'm trying to figure out, am I thinking too deeply about this whole situation? Because when I think back to Chelsea Manalo, it seems like the approach was a little bit more hands off. I did watch, as you know, because I commented on it last year, Michelle D. I was a lot more involved, and because it's my first time covering it, and it was just very interesting. The whole process was interesting to me. So as I watched the process, there was sort of this, I won't say lackadaisical approach, but it just doesn't seem like they were as involved as Michelle D was. Now, is that left up to the contestant, or is it left up to the organization? So you guys kind of let me know. I'm still, I love learning about this whole process. And so, but the involvement of Miss Universe Philippines, the Q&A, the pasarela, because I don't even think that I saw that wonderful pasarela from Chelsea Manalo. I just don't remember seeing it during the competition. So how what was that all about? And another thing that really bothered me too is, and don't get me wrong, and I am being very critical, and I'm not talking bad, but what I'm saying is, when you look at her blue gown, I understand what they were trying to do. But if you have to explain so much of what it's supposed to do, then it missed the mark. So it just looked like, I mean, and she looked gorgeous. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm talking bad about her. I'm not. But it didn't showcase how sexy she is. It didn't showcase her beautiful physique. It didn't showcase her strong pasarela. When I saw her and she kind of waved around in the dress like it was waves in the sea, like a Disney princess. Was that appropriate? Who thought of that style? Was it the styling person? Was it Chelsea Manalo herself? Whose idea was it for that? Because was that the best gown that they could find? Were there any huge surprises in her styling? And mind you, she looked very good. I mean, she was gorgeous. She was stunning. But was it enough to, I mean, wait, was it that expectancy from someone from a powerhouse country? Was her stylings, you know, were they edgy? You know, like as far as, and again, I'm just comparing it to Michelle D last year, because her outfits were simply on point. Edgy, sexy, made sense, didn't really have to talk about it. Chelsea Manalo, she seems to be a lot more conservative with her dress, you know, still sexy, but when you're on a national stage like that, is it enough to take you across the top? I am spending a little bit too much time on this, because what I'm trying to simply figure out, and you guys can help me out, is the involvement that it takes to be at that level is already great. But what was the impetus? What was there an impetus to really push Chelsea Manalo to come out of maybe her more conservative comfort zone and to be edgy? And again, like I said, her stylings were on point, but were they enough? And apparently not. But were they enough for her, you know, at the level that she was at? Now, she is Miss Continental Asia, so she still ended up with a crown. But it can also be argued that because the Philippines has such a great sash factor, that if you pull the Philippines, if you don't sort of, I hate to say, I don't want to say the wrong word, but it's pacify. I don't know the right word to say, but you know, you got to pacify the larger countries with a great sash factor, because if they pull their support, that's going to be support from the Miss Universe organization. If I'm wrong for saying that, let me know. So, do you think that maybe, I think someone brought that up, you know, giving her the Miss Continental Asia, do you think that was just to sort of pacify the Philippines? I don't know, because Miss Denmark won and Miss Nigeria was runner-up. And that's two countries, neither one really has a strong sash factor. But I said in a video last year that the Miss Universe is going to have to do something to reach those smaller countries to try to generate that support. Do you think that they did a good job with this? I know we're talking about Chelsea Manalo and Miss Universe Philippines, but it still goes back to that strong sash factor, still that support. And we all know the Latin countries, huge supporters of Miss Universe, and several of them have strong sash factors. So does the Philippines. And so I think maybe they're trying to come up with something that can work. Let me know what you guys think. Now let's get back to Adam G and this whole mess. What I really think, and I've said it before, I will continue to say it. I respect what he does. I respect his platform, and I respect that he gets the right to say what he has to say. But is Miss Universe Philippines using him as a scapegoat, or are they trying to censor him? In other words, by censoring him, by saying what he said, are they just trying to put blame on somebody because Chelsea Manalo didn't go as far as everyone believed that she would? So you kind of have two things going on at the same time. He made an opinion. I believe someone asked him a question and he had an opinion. And I think he answered the question. But was that really enough to censor him to pull his credentials from being a media, what is it called? A media partner. Was that really enough? So I don't really think so much it's more censorship than they're trying to find a scapegoat. I could be wrong. I could be wrong for that. And then again, all of this could just be a whole lot of hot air about nothing, because anytime you have any type of negative publicity, some people are going to see it as positive. And I know some of you have seen a Broken Crown or something like that, one of the stations here, that is something about Miss Universe. So, and once again, the Miss Universe organization is in a negative light. And I know some of you have seen the clip. I've seen the clip about Anne and then Raul and all of that. And I will let you decide about that. But once again, the Miss Universe organization is in a negative light. It seems like there are more negative stories about Miss Universe than there are positive. Now, granted, the positive was Miss Universe Philippines. They did send Chelsea Manalo their first black. And I tell you what, they did an awesome job. But what about the bigger story? We still have this idea of who is deciding what beauty is. I think it's in transition. So, but you have Anne, who is a biological male. Then you have all of the men that are in charge of Miss Universe Philippines. And I'm wrong. Let me be politically correct. You do have Anne and then the other guys. And so, but is that fair for mostly men? And I say mostly because all of them aren't anymore, but to be telling women what's beautiful, or should women decide? And I'll let you decide. But the whole thing, it all goes back to Adam G and what he said. Was it warranted? Let me know what you guys think. And I do appreciate that engagement. And a lot of you guys had a lot of great comments. So I'm kind of in the middle. I can see both sides, and I just think that I think he'll rise from this. They can pull his credentials, but he still has a platform, and I don't know if any subscribers have left or if he's added subscribers because of what happened. It's negative publicity. A lot of people said he shouldn't have apologized. They're just using him as a scapegoat. So if they use him as a scapegoat, to hell with it. Roll with the punches. Let him take your media credentials. And you still have your platform. You still offer those opinions. Because when they pull your media credentials, they're not paying for anything anyway. You just got access to the candidates. So which is better? To be a media partner, and then you have to sort of work that fine line. You can't really offer your critique. There had several comments about that. They were saying, why not? Just don't be a media partner. And you're free to say whatever the hell you want to say. Again, let me know what you guys think. I know probably kind of all over the place here, but hopefully you got the general idea that it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to recover. I think he should be able to recover. Is Adam G being used as a scapegoat? I will let you decide. Is Miss Universe Philippines a bully? You tell me what you think. And then we'll have a discussion about that. Okay? Hey, as always, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Peace out.